my name is Chelsea. I am the Fiber Enchantress, and today I'm going to share my journey of how I learned how to spin yarn. I hope you guys like stories because this is a good one. It all started with a question. How do you make that? How do you make yarn? That was the question I had. And for the longest time, I kind of knew how yarn was made. Pretty much if you asked a teacher or if you asked an adult, how do you make yarn? And their main answer was, oh, it's made with a spinning wheel. They just move the machine and it makes yarn. Like, they really didn't know. As a 12-year-old, I would go to these fairs and festivals, find these demonstrators or these spinners and sit in front of them and just rack my little 12-year-old brain trying to figure out what is going on to make this yarn. Typically, all of the people who I saw at these festivals and fairs and museums would be spinning yarn on a spinning wheel. Spinning wheels, I have to say, they're a little bit of magic. They have a lot of moving parts. They're usually crafted to be not only a functioning tool, but a very beautiful tool. And there's a lot going on in a spinning wheel. And for someone who doesn't know what's going on, you look at this thing and you're just like, well, she pedals the pedals, the wheel spins around, and yarn is somehow made. And I would watch that as a kid and be like, this is a magical process. I don't know how this is done. I need to figure out how this is done. Of course, people don't let you touch their spinning wheels. Therefore, there was kind of this barrier between my question of how is yarn made and the answer being, oh, well, it's just spun on a spinning wheel. It wasn't answered until I went to the National Western Stock Show. We were in the Hall of Education, which is a large building that has a bunch of demonstrations and booths set up to show kids and adults about various types of agriculture. They had a little petting zoo and pony rides and a bunch of things that are really attractive to small children. And one of those booths happened to be one showing what is done with wool and fiber arts. A woman by the name of Gretchen happened to be sitting there and she was demonstrating how to spin on a wheel. I plopped my little 12-year-old self down and watched her spin. After sitting there for a very long time, Gretchen actually looked at me and she's like, you are really interested in how this works. And I said, yes, I'm very interested in how this works. I need to know the answer. She was trying to explain how the wheel works and then she just stopped, kind of looked around at the expo hall, and she then digs into her bag. And from her bag, she pulls out this tool. She's like, okay, you don't really need a spinning wheel to spin. You actually can make yarn using this thing. And I'm like, oh, what is that? And she's like, this is a drop spindle. I'm not really good at spinning on drop spindles. I actually don't really like it. I just carry this around, but let me kind of show you how it kind of works. And she grabbed a little bit of fluff and she put it onto the hook and she tried to spin a little bit of yarn on this thing. And she's like, look, I can't really teach you how to spin on a drop spindle, but I know somebody who can. Here is my information. I need you to come to this meeting. And I was like, ooh, okay. So I took this card and it had the information for the Rocky Mountain Weavers Guild on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So we figured out that They have meetings once a month. And luckily for us, that next Saturday was another meeting. So we made sure to go to that meeting. And it was probably the best one I've ever could have gone to, because not only was it their once a month meeting, it was also their member to member sale. It was basically when all the members bring all of the tools and supplies and things that they no longer needed or could no longer use, and were selling it to other members. We went there, and luckily enough, someone happened to have a drop spindle they no longer needed, sold it to me, and another lady had a pile of wool roving that they no longer wanted, and they sold that to me. I went to Gretchen and was like, hey, I have the things now. How do I do this? And she's like, you need to talk to this lady named Anita. So she introduced me to this woman named Anita, who is a very skilled hand spinner who spins primarily using drop spindles. And she took the time to sit me down and showed me how to use a drop spindle. And thus began a lifelong journey of creating yarn. I'm forever thankful for those women. They are still my friends today. It's been really great that they introduced me to this wonderful craft. I hope you've enjoyed my story of how I started creating yarn. If you have, please give this video a like. And if you want to explore more of the wonderful world of fiber with me, please subscribe.